Are you ready for the 2020 NFL Draft? If you're like, heck yeah, Mitch, I want you to like this video right now. Let's get this video up to 2,000 likes because I don't know about you, I am stoked for this draft. Coming up on today's show, the latest Raiders 2020 mock draft. And it's crazy that this is going to be my last one. Okay, we got round one, pick 12, pick 19. Juicy, right? I do think that there's a chance that the Raiders trade back to try to get into round two, but that's something for another show. So basically the way that this is going to work is I'm going to take you from pick 1 all the way down to pick 12, and we're going to do all 7 rounds, okay? All 7 rounds. And I did this one on Mock Draftable, so if you guys want to do your own Raiders mock drafts, you can go there. So pick number 1, no surprise. Pick number 2, no surprise. Honestly, the top 5 picks in my mock draft were not all too much of a big surprise. So then let's keep the show going. We'll go to pick number 6 here, which was Justin Herbert, goes to the Chargers. Derek Brown, he finds himself with the Carolina Panthers. Tristan Wirth with the Cardinals. C.J. Henderson goes to the Jacksonville Jags. At pick number 10, the Cleveland Browns in my final Raiders 2020 mock draft, they took Mekhi Becton, offensive tackle out of Louisville. And then Andrew Thomas goes to the Jets at pick 11. So we are an interactive show. We have a lot of fun. And I'm going to let you know who I pick at pick 12. But first, I want you guys to subscribe to our main Chat Sports channel. Go to youtube.com/chatsportstv and click subscribe. I'm going to be live for all 7 rounds, all 255 picks. And if you like the Raiders Report, I promise you, you guys are going to absolutely love our draft coverage. So who would you draft? Okay. Who would you draft? I'm going to make this the pinned comment on today's video. So if you would go with CeeDee Lamb, I want you to type CeeDee. If you would go with Jerry Jeudy, I want you to type JJ. If you're going to go with Henry Ruggs, I want you to type HR. And if you're going to go with Javon Kinlaw, I want you to type JK. So I'm going to take a lot of these votes, and honestly, I'm going to let you guys decide who we pick here. So we haven't put it in the description yet. Whoever the most votes come in for is who we're going to end up going with in this latest mock draft. So get the votes coming in. CeeDee Lamb, Jerry Jeudy, Henry Ruggs, Javon Kinlaw. I think the votes are all totaled. I think we got them all tallied up. So who would you draft at pick number 12? The votes are in. You guys went with CeeDee Lamb, wide receiver out of Oklahoma, and I'm not surprised. He's got the size, he's got the speed, an absolute great fit in our offense. If you watch my rumor show, you'll know that Mike Mayock absolutely loves CeeDee, and in fact, he thinks that he is the #1 wide receiver in this year's class. Now, I saw a lot of people were voting for Henry Ruggs. I saw some people voting for Jerry Jeudy. I love both of those receivers, but if you are a loyal watcher of the show, you'll know that CeeDee Lamb is my #1 guy, and he is the player that I want. So the way that this is going to work is I want you guys to grade me, all right? But technically, y'all are going to be grading yourself because you made the pick. So round 1, pick 12, CeeDee Lamb to the Las Vegas Raiders. Is it an A? Is it a B? Is it a C, a D? If it's an F, I'm going to be really upset. For me, this is an A+ grade for me, the player that I wanted, a player that I really want to build around my team around. A great option for Derek Carr, and at 6'2", 191 pounds, not only is he a very complete receiver in terms of route tree and toughness, but he wants to block. And that's why he's my #1 guy. That's why I think he fits our team, because as much as we talk about Carr, as much as we talk about CeeDee Lamb, right? We're going to win football games with Josh Jacobs. We're going to win football games with running the football. And I think CeeDee Lamb is the best wide receiver to help us go out. And what's the term I'm looking for? I believe the term I'm looking for is a just win, baby. So here's what our depth chart would look like with CeeDee Lamb. He have Tyrell Williams, who would be our 1B. And then we got Hunter Renfrow there in the slot. I know we went out and got Nelson Aguilar. I think they're going to use him in special teams just a little bit more. But going out, getting Lamb, there's no more excuses. And that's what I need. No more excuses. I don't want people saying, oh, well, Derek doesn't have anyone to throw to. If we go out and get CeeDee Lamb, mark my words, we're going to just win, baby. And if you want to rep those words, go out and get a sweatshirt, okay? This deal ends Thursday at midnight. So for only $41.99, you can get this Just Win Baby sweatshirt. Honestly, last week when I had it on the show, it was $5 more. They keep cutting down prices. So if you want this hoodie, go to chatsports.com/Raiders hoodie. Okay, I'll say it again. Chatsports.com/Raiders hoodie. If you forget that link, I don't know. You guys might be not very good at, maybe you don't even know what kind of show this is. I'm not quite sure. But we'll put it in the comments. I'll put it in the description. 30% off, chatsports.com/Raiders hoodie. So we'll keep this mock draft rolling here. We took CeeDee Lamb at pick 12. We took Henry Ruggs, or the 49ers took Henry Ruggs at 13. Jedrick Wills, Jerry Jeudy went off the board at 15. Then at pick 16, Javon Kinlaw, which I actually think is a great value for the Falcons, by the way, Xavier McKinney, and K. Lavon Chasen. So that means at pick number 19, the Las Vegas Raiders are on the clock. So who would the Raiders go with, okay? You're going to see a lot of purple. I am just going to warn you, it's the top 4 players that were on the board. You got Justin Jefferson, Jeff Gladney, Grant Delpit, or Christian Fulton. So if you want Jefferson, type J. If you want Jeff Gladney, type G. If you want Grant Delpit, type D. If you want Christian Fulton, I want you to type F. Now, the last mock draft that I made, I had the Raiders taking Christian Fulton. So I'm just going to be honest with you. I wanted to do something a little bit different. I think doing mock drafts where are a little bit different is important. So for me, at pick number 19, I have the Las Vegas Raiders taking Jeff Gladney, cornerback out of TCU. When I see Gladney compete, it's fun to watch. And a lot of times I've actually had somebody throw out the comparison of Garyon Conley to me with Gladney because Gladney is a freak athlete. There is no doubt about that. The issue with that comp is Garyon Conley to me was never a competitor. Gladney competes, right? And the fact that he ran a 4.4840 and people were disappointed about it, I think really just goes to show how much of a freak athlete he is. And just because you don't run a good 40 time doesn't mean you're not fast. Watch him play. He is more football fast than he is track fast. Plus, he's physical, scrappy. He's everything that I think that this Raiders team needs in a cornerback. So, grade the pick. Now, I want you to realize that we passed up on Justin Jefferson. We passed on, Christian Fulton. So, what do you guys think of this? A, B, C, D, or F? Get your grades in. For me, I'm going to give it a B, okay? I know I made the pick, but I did want to do something just a little bit different. I like the fact that he's really scrappy. I like the fact that he's going to be bringing a lot of toughness. And at 6 foot, 183 pounds, I think that he needs to fill out a little bit more. But the fact that he is only 183 pounds and the fact that you can see that he wants to tackle is very encouraging. Because in terms of breaking up passes, in terms of getting in the way of the receiver, Gladney's got that locked down. I mean, the last 2 years, 12 pass breakups in 2018, 14 pass breakups last year. If you're looking for a cornerback who can really add a lot to this defense, I think it's him. Now, he's not going to be our cornerback 1. That's Trayvon Mullen. But if you insert him as the cornerback 2, and yes, I do think he would be the second cornerback. That's why we would draft him in the second round. We're starting to build a very good young defense, which is very, very encouraging. Now, I've done a lot of mock drafts, okay? This is like my 5th or 6th, 7th one on the channel. I've done so many I've lost count. So I don't want you to think this is the only one I've done. Go back, subscribe to the channel, go out and check some of these other ones that I've put up. We've done ones about Mel Kiper. We've done ones around Todd McShay. We've done ones with trades. A whole bunch of mock drafts. Bottom line, I promise you, you will not find another Raiders channel that puts out as much content as we do. You won't find a channel that cares about y'all as much as I do. Go ahead, subscribe, youtube.com/Raiders Report. Okay, now let's get into the third round. We got Malik Harrison, pick number 80, linebacker out of the Ohio State. And he's just like a physical middle linebacker who I think could really, really stop the run. Now, we've talked about finding versatility. And honestly, I don't know if Malik Harrison is really that versatile when it comes to playing linebacker. However, watch him play. He is getting a little bit better in pass protection, which I think is a very important quality. But we talk about Vontaze Burfict a lot. I think if you go out and get a Malik Harrison in round 3, who will fall down some boards because he does lack some versatility, I think he would be the absolute perfect replacement for a player like Vontaze Burfict. Because at 6'3", 240, you put him at middle linebacker, you actually then get the best of his ability, where he can just fill up the middle, stop the run, and just be that old school linebacker that eats a bowl of nails for breakfast. Like, that's what kind of dude Malik Harrison is. And then you can switch around Kwiatkowski. You can switch around Littleton, who are much more versatile. But that's why we're paying them a lot of money. So honestly, if we can go out and get Harrison, I would absolutely love that linebacking depth chart. let's keep the draft rolling here. The very next pick in round 3, we got Bryce Hall out of Virginia. And I did a show 2 days ago around players that I really want the Raiders to target that are sleepers. And I think Bryce Hall is a perfect example of that. He would have been the number 1 cornerback, I think, drafted in 2019 if it wasn't for an ankle injury. Yes, he's been battling through some injuries, and I think his draft stock will fall because of that injury, because of everything we're dealing with right now with the Big C. But if you guys want to go for a home run hit, right, I think we can do that. I think we can go for a home run hit in Bryce Hall because we went out and got a cornerback in round 1 in Jeff Gladney. Because if Bryce Hall can fully recover from that ankle injury, if he can go back to being the stud that he was in 2018 and like early on in 2019, you're looking at one of the best cornerbacks that would be coming out in the draft. That's how talented he is. He's got the size of an ideal round 1 corner. He's got all the traits. He just needs to get healthy. And I think when you really look at what the Raiders need, he would fit great. So every single pick that I do, I want you to guys continue to grade A, B, C, D, or F. All right, last pick here in round 3. It's Justin, say it with me, Madubuike. Got it. Solid versus the run, and he's starting to get better, I think, getting pressure on the quarterback. You want to talk about just a freak athlete, okay? He ran a 4.83 40-yard dash, which is just, like, really good for a defensive tackle, especially for a human being that's over 300 pounds. Now, Madubuike I've talked about a few times here on the show, and I know NBC has even said that the Raiders have shown interest in Madubuike. If you saw my Raiders rumors show where we talked about the potentially moving on from PJ Hall, I think if they move on from a player like PJ Hall, going out and getting a player like Madubuike makes a lot of sense. So grade the pick, A, B, C, D, or F. I want you to throw it in the comments section below. Again, I want you to get your grades in for every single one of these picks that we have on the show, okay? Keep doing that. I also think that he brings a lot of versatility, and I know the Raiders want to do a lot of versatile things, okay? That's another important thing. So let's hit up this quick quote here by Mike Mayock. So he said this during last week's press conference. At the end of the day, to me, the third day is just as important as the first round, and so is the acquisition of the college free agents. So let's get into day 3 of this mock draft. The round 4 pick 121, I'm going to go with running back A.J. Dillon. And he's just a big bruising dude. And at 6 foot, 250 pounds, if you want kind of a comp to him, I do think of a little bit of a LeGarrette Blount type of running back who just had insane production out of Boston College. And I don't think that you bring in Dillon to take carries away from Josh Jacobs, but you bring in Dillon to kind of give Jacobs and even Jalen Richard once in a while a breather. And, like, when I think about the idea of a mentality of a defensive football player, right, I'll be honest, I never played football. But having to stop Jacobs for basically 3/4 of a game and then trying to stop A.J. Dillon at 250 pounds for the 4th quarter when I'm gassed, that doesn't sound like a lot of fun, right? I see the big body. I see a physical runner. And with our offensive line, with our biggest need or our biggest asset on offense being Jacobs, if we can keep him healthy, if we can keep him churning along, that's why I like this pick a lot. But again, get your votes in, grade the pick. A.J. Dillon at 121. Is it an A, B, C, D, or is it an F? I'm going to give it a solid B because I think we are protecting our most important asset, which is Jacobs on the offense. And just because you go out and get Dillon, this is what I think the depth chart looks like. I think Rod Smith is still there at running back 4. And honestly, going out and getting Dillon, I actually think that Rod Smith's job could be in jeopardy. You could see those two battle it out for a positional spot. Then you got Alec Ingold at fullback, who's probably one of my favorite Raiders on the team. Shout out to my man Alec. But again, A.J. Dillon, only a depth play for a guy like Josh Jacobs. We're going to round out this final Raiders mock draft. I'm about to shed a tear. I got Isaiah Coulter, and I am starting to really like this player. And at 6'2", you're looking at a small school kid out of Rhode Island who, I'm telling y'all right now, save this video. 3 years from now, we're going to be saying, man, Coulter was an absolute steal in this draft. And Isaiah, if you watch this video and the Raiders pick you, I want you to come on the Raiders Report. He ran a 4.45 at the combine. He can separate from defensive backs. And at 6'2", when you put all his skills together, the fact that he was able to put up the numbers he did at Rhode Island, 72 catches, 8 touchdowns, over 1,000 yards with their quarterback play, I do think speaks a little bit of volume there. Now, he is a little bit thin, and I think he does need to fill out a little bit, okay? He's going to be able to fill out. He's going to be able to really kind of just put on, I think, a little bit more weight. When I look at his frame, it reminds me of AJ Green. I'm not saying he's AJ Green. I'm saying his frame reminds me a lot of AJ Green. So that was the final 2020 mock draft. Again, it was sad that it's finally come to an end, but I am super hyped for the draft. So I want you to grade it from a scale from 0 to 100. 0 being terrible, 100% being I'm going to stick it on my fridge. So we took CeeDee Lamb, Gladney, Malik Harrison, Bryce Hall, and then the last 3 picks, Justin Madubuike, AJ Dillon, and Isaiah Coulter. If you're giving it 100%, I appreciate you. Maybe that also means that you should subscribe to the channel. You can see the link below. It's youtube.com/Raiders Report. And if you want, since you're giving it 100%, go ahead and give this video a like. Raider Nation, what's going on? Is this the #1 Raiders channel on YouTube? For Chucky Heads, believe it, baby. And if you haven't already, subscribe right here. I'm giving you Chucky Heads news, rumors, Raider Nation rumors. And look at this, I'm making your life easier. Check out my next video. Thanks for watching, and go Raiders.